Mini camps are underway, and Jamar Chase is in the building. T isn't, but we'll talk about the Bengals. We'll talk about everything you need to know, catch you up with the latest. We have award-winning sports journo, Michael Silver, who has a new book. He's going to be joining me just in time for Father's Day. I don't think it comes out till October, but it got the special edition early, baby. And we have Julius Thomas. Will we talk Jags? Absolutely. Will we talk Broncos? Absolutely. And Hamilton's weirdly in my eyes, my vision, my hair. Do you like this? Are you sitting here?
I don't know how I feel about
this. You're sitting so awkwardly.
I feel I'm like 2 feet away from you. It's, you know, I feel like I'm gonna like block you. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Yeah.
Okay, bye. Roll the tape. Michael Silver, the Why is Everything, a story of football rivalry and revolution. We're going to talk to him. He's a Cal guy. Maybe we'll talk a little Counting Crows, a little Adam Duritz. With our friend, little Aaron Rodgers for sure. We'll get into the Jared Goff of it all. Big show. So fun to have. Keyshawn Nixon.
Yeah.
What a star. Do I love the Packers?
I feel like you do. It's happening. I see it happening.
And the Bears, you know, I'm excited about them. We'll see how it goes. I might say that the Bears sweep them this year. That might be one of my bold predictions.
Oh, boy.
But I just feel like I thought a lot of yesterday about this Jeff Hafley.
Yeah.
And, I mean, for a large amount of yesterday, I thought it was Haftley with a T. And then it was Hafley. And then I'm like, let me learn more about this guy. And there's you know, he's a college-y guy, so I need to get to know him. And just Keyshawn really put him... I mean, he talked yesterday, too, to the media, so did LaFleur talking about him. I think it might be the guy that we're looking for, because you know that those Packers fans hate themselves, a D coordinator.
They really do. It's been an endless cycle, but sometimes you just need that change in personality, and different personalities mesh differently with different groups of players, and it sounds like he's that fiery guy that's going to inspire that defense and take them to the next level, because we've talked about it. The talent's there. They spent a ton of draft picks to build up that defense, and you know, just finding the right fit coaching-wise. California
looks good on you. You're having fun? I know the weather's not as good as New York right now.
Yeah, I know. New York's actually had nicer weather, but no, it's been great so far.
Weather's weather. We're going to dinner tonight.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm taking Hamilton to dinner. It'll be a good time. But let's get to this, guys. We have so much to get to with Michael Silver and with Julius Thomas being on the show. 19 teams are opening their mini camps today. Some news is starting to trickle out already. So, like I mentioned to start the show, Jamar Chase, he is there, which we love to see because he's not going the CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, lose money route. He is there despite wanting a new contract. Now, as expected, nobody's freaking out that T. Higgins not there because he hasn't signed his tag yet. That all makes sense. And it's a good step in the right direction overall, I think, for this Bengals squad. You have Chase in the building. That's really nice as you're trying to do nothing but win the Super Bowl. That's it. That's the only goal, and hopefully they can figure something out with Jamar very, very soon. Now, there is a team that's starting minicamp today. In the place that has the good weather, the New York Jets, okay? We have keeping close tabs on these New York Jets. We haven't talked about them in a minute. In an offseason like a year ago, we were probably talking about them every day, and when is this Aaron deal going to get done? It gets done. I'm still waiting for another deal to happen. I'm still waiting for them to bring somebody else in. I really am.
Yeah?
Yeah, time's a ticking. You want to build that chemistry. I'm talking about an offensive piece. I want to bring some depth, just for depth's sake, but more for the all-inness of its sake. I want something to happen. But, you know, this is an OTAs of beauty for one Aaron Rodgers, okay? The no-look passes, the slow-mo masterpieces by the Jets social media team, who we love and adore. Shout out to them. I know it's the offseason. Save your wet blankets, everybody. I still think it was important to see all of this out of Aaron after everything he's been through. Every little piece of footage, every morsel is important given that Achilles from week 1 last year. I miss this. I miss seeing it on the field. Let's keep it on the field, too, shall we? Let's keep it on the field. Got an election coming up. Wins, losses, Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, Brazil days, whatever. He's not going to Brazil. I bet he wishes he was going to Brazil. I don't know why I just related him to the Packers. I don't know why I just did that. It's okay. Listen, this is a big deal. The new Jets wide receiver coach, Sean Jefferson, is not new at all. He's actually entering his 32nd year in the league between his time as a player and a coach. He's making sure his position group is appreciating the greatness they have in front of him. His advice to receivers on playing with Rodgers, he said that you can play in this league for 10 to 12 years and not play with a quarterback like Rodgers. Let's take advantage of him while he's here. This quarterback can literally make your career. Good advice, straight, direct, like, let's have some gratitude for what's in front of you. He's not wrong. I'm not going to name names, but we've literally seen how much he can elevate the players around him, and we've seen amazing receivers held back at times by not having that quarterback. So I'm really intrigued by how this group stacks up against some of the receiver rooms that he's had in his past. A lot of friends of the show here. Garrett Wilson, are we going to see him be the all-pro receiver we know he can be? If healthy, if. Mike Williams, incredible fit, big wingspan, catch point, let's effing go. How quickly will the yak monster Malachi Corley get going in his rookie year? You think they're not spending some extra time together getting reps? Of course they are. Lazard in there too. We know the chemistry that he and Rodgers have. So the talent is there for this group to be among the best. And who do you think, who is the best? What was the best? What was the heyday? Jordy,
Jennings and Donald Driver when they won that Super Bowl.
Or Devontae and nobody else.
Yeah, Devontae
Those were some
alone.
good years.
Yeah.
This could be their-ish.
Yeah, I think Garrett Wilson has the potential to be in that Devontae class of receiver. I really do. And yeah, but you said like Malachi Corley, we're going to see. We loved him in the draft process. We're going to see how quickly, rookie receivers don't always have that chemistry with Rodgers right away.
I like that they're focusing on the window, but I do think because of the injury concerns with the Mike Williams, quarterback coming off a serious injury, Corley's entering his rookie year, let's take a swing. Who do I got to talk to with the Jets to bring in, just bring somebody in that maybe even has, knows Aaron, knows how he ticks, make it easier than it is even for a guy who really wants to win the Super Bowl and cement those 2 rings for his legacy. If you look at the AFC Championship odds here, okay, let's see, what do we got?
Yeah, so you got the Chiefs are the favorites, clearly. And the Jets are all the way down there. They're 7th at plus 1,300 to win the AFC right now.
What is that, just on the unknowns?
I think so. There's a lot of variables there, as we mentioned. Rodgers coming off the injury. So they're kind of right in the middle of the pack in the AFC right now, the way they're being viewed. But
okay, I think I would be fine with that, except their defense should be not questioned top 5.
Yeah.
So
3rd best total defense last year.
Plus 1,300. I would F with that.
Yeah.
Over at FanDuel Sportsbook. Like I don't have a question about their quarterback. I don't have a question about their defense at all. Maybe about their coaching a little bit and seeing how that goes. Can they win the East? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're plus 200 there, which is the same odds the Dolphins are getting. Bills are still the favorites.
Is this a team that you would go as far as to say could challenge the Chiefs?
Absolutely. When you have Aaron Rodgers, I think, and that defense, absolutely. They challenged the Chiefs last year with Zach Wilson starting in that game. So I
love the 40-year-olds just out. Look at like Mercedes Lewis, his friend from that UFC fight where they didn't say hi to Trump or did say hi to Trump or whatever the heck happened. He's signed to the Bears now. We've got like 40-year-old people doing their thing all around the freaking league, and we love it. You're weird that you wrote the Jags into the A block. I roll. No, we love the Jags. But they kicked off their mini camp yesterday. From the Jets to the Jags we go. Newly paid pass rusher Josh Allen was in attendance for the first time. He missed OTAs to train in Arizona, so he wasn't there. So he's back, and he's coming back looking a little different. New DC and Ryan Nielsen, right? A new D-line mate and longtime Niner Eric Armstead. So there's a different vibe. There's different pieces. And here he is talking about Armstead and his connection with former Defensive Player of the Year Nick Bosa and how that's added sort of a new level of inspo for him. Take a look.
I'm excited to play against him. Obviously, he played at a high level for so long out there in San Fran. He played with Nick, so he's played with guys that played at a very high level. For me, I want him to show, I want to show him that I ain't no Nick, but I'm Josh. And this is a bad boy. It's a bad boy right here. And I play the game my way. You know what I'm saying? And I want him to see that. And I want him to know that, when you get to the Super Bowl, we're going to win it. That was my goal for me and for him. Like, when we get there, we're going all the way. You know what I'm saying? So, and I told him I'm going to be the MVP of it too. So, so I can't wait to get there.
I think some people nationally might see this and be like, what? he's allowed to speak this way. This is a highly paid 17.5 sack man from last year. I love hearing this. I love the situation for him. Why were you laughing when you were listening to that set?
He's just fun. I love his energy. And yeah, just the fact that he's talking about Nick Bosa and wanting to show Eric Armstead what he can do and that he can be in that class. Like, again, you said 17.5 sacks, and he's still like, I have to impress Eric Armstead. It's very funny.
What about the when we get to the Super Bowl? That's the headline, not the if or we're going to one game at a time. It's the he's putting himself right up with the Bengals and the Jets and trying to contend with the Chiefs. Like, that's where they are. He definitely should. Is the team ready? Are we, going to turn that leaf? I'm excited to talk to Julius Thomas about this, but they do have a chance to make a big jump this year, right? Because they've made some changes. And people, as much as they want to make everything about Trevor Lawrence, it was the defense and the struggles from everybody but that guy and Trayvon that had a lot to do with the team not making the playoffs. This is a surefire playoff team to you, right? During the 1-5 stretch to end the year, they ranked 26th in scoring defense. That's including their shutout win over the Panthers' bottom-ranked offense in Week 17. These numbers are crazy. It wasn't pretty. We're liking the new vibes. I'm really liking that new DC, Ryan Nielsen, but I don't know much about him. I don't know if you can give me the Keyshawn Nixon smile. What do I need to know about the new DC in town in Jacksonville?
All right, so I was doing some digging yesterday, and there's some really exciting stuff there with him. So Cam Jordan, who he coached, called him a top-tier coach when it comes to developing pass rushers. And he's really proven that at every stop. At NC State, he turned out 4 NFL D linemen from a single recruiting class, headlined by Bradley Chubb, who was just a 3-star coming in. With the Saints, he helped develop a 3rd-round pick, by the name of Trey Hendrickson. He blossomed into an All-Pro.
He's a maniac!
And Cam churned out 4 double-digit sack seasons in a 5-year span. He only had 2 of those in his first 6 seasons before Nielsen got him in New Orleans.
Special talent.
He took Cam to another level.
Okay.
And then, remember that turnaround you talked about a few weeks ago with the Falcons defense? That was also this guy last year. Mustachioed wizard that he is. He was behind that too. So I'm really excited to see what he can do here with this Jags defense.
He looks like a villain.
He really does.
I feel like Adam Rank could dress up like him for Halloween, though, really well. Don't you think?
I was thinking that yesterday as I pulled these, actually. Like, this picture, he looks like Adam Rank.
Why? He's giving Adam Rank. Adam Rank, how are you? Sending our love from the Up and Adam show. Okay, so we're taking a look at this. What am I looking at here?
Yeah, so looking at what he has to work with this year with this group up front with Eric Armstead in the mix now. I mean, this is a group that's loaded with talent. Your breakout guy, Trayvon Walker. Could we see Saxonville 2.0?
You tell me. Are you invoking the Saxonville 2.0 right here, right now?
I am. We have Malik Jackson on the show later this week. He's one of the founding members. I'm interested to see his thought. But I really think
I don't see why not.
The talent is limitless with that group up front.
They got to match what the offense is doing, and they got to get back into the AFC playoff picture. 2017 was Saxonville?
Yeah.
Great year. And Ngakwe.
Oh, yeah.
Just the best. Telvin. Going over to London that year, I remember, they were on fire. That was an incredible defensive performance. We'll see if Adam Rank, not Adam Rank, can do this. We'll see what we can do with the mustachioed wizard.
Yeah.
Was it? All right, I've got a sports journo wizard on deck. Michael Silver from the San Francisco Chronicle is coming up next. Oh, you don't even have your book in your background, bro. I have your book in studio. Get it together, Silva. We'll be right back on Up and Adams. We've got Julius Thomas on deck as well. And I'm going to say on deck as if it's like, I know what I'm talking about. Who says on? Isn't it on deck?
Yeah, on deck.
I'm a regular euchre. A regular Bob Euchre over here. Okay. I'll do whatever Hammy wants.
Yeah, we got some.
Great job on that. I think that's good. I didn't know much about that man. Isn't he giving Adam Rank?
He really
Jordan,
is.
let's feel free to tag Adam Rank on that.
But yeah, we got a bunch of Jets specials over on FanDuel Sportsbook too.
Like what? What do we got?
Well, if we pull it up, it gives you kind of an idea too of how they're being perceived.
Bring us the sportsbook. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is Jets stuff over at FanDuel Sportsbook. Okay, from like an odds maker's perspective, this is cool. They've got specials. There's values.
Yeah, so if you Rodgers to throw for 4,000 plus passing yards, again, plus odds on that, which he's done 10 times in his career, so really like that. And a lot of those, he didn't have a 17th game in a lot of those either.
How about Garrett Wilson? Plus 700 for 1,400 yards. Okay, Jordy Devontae, they've gone that with him. Let's do this. Mike Williams, plus 450 to get 10 touchdowns. He's done that before.
Yeah.
Okay. You think that could happen? That'd be wild.
I think so.
You could see it happen? Just go to the end zone and hit me?
I really love the fit with Rodgers because he's so big. He's got that big catch. Rodgers puts it anywhere near him, he's coming down with it. He's just got to stay healthy.
And I asked you if they could win the East.
Yeah, plus 200 there.
What do you make of that?
I would like a little better odds, but still, I mean, plus 200. I would take a swing. Again, it's Rodgers. If you're getting plus money with Rodgers, I'm taking it.
Can you look at U.S. Open odds for me? Who's the best odds to win?
Let's see.
I want to do like a...
Scotty Scheffler at plus 300.
Yeah, this dude's just winning every week.
He really is. Yeah.
I have a question.
Oh, boy.
Is it kind of snoozy?
I mean,
Is it
it's the
snoozy?
low-hanging fruit.
I don't want to say that, but is it...
Yeah.
Is he, like, exciting?
I mean, he's exciting.
I mean, he caused a lot of excitement, but it wasn't really on, like...
Yeah. I mean, he's exciting.
Is it a little Max Verstappen winning every week on the F1 circuit? Like, is it giving that? No?
I don't know, because golf, it's so hard to be that dominant. So it's...
Max Homa. Like, I'm putting my chips in for... Or Justin Thomas.
I had a feeling you were going to say
Who's playing really well right now? Morikawa.
Yeah. I had a feeling you were going to say those three.
I
don't know why.
Morikawa's playing really well. Okay.
McCaffrey on the cover of Madden. That's cool.
Christian McCaffrey on the cover of Madden. Everything's coming up McCaffrey. All right, back on the Up and Adam show. Julius Thomas is on the program, but right now, I cannot wait to talk to my friend, award-winning sports journalist who's written for Sports Illustrated, Yahoo Sports, currently a San Francisco Chronicle columnist. He spent 8 years as an analyst for the NFL Network with me. We had a dinner once or twice or 3 times whenever you'd grace us with your presence in New York. You have a new book. I'm so freaking happy for you and proud of you. I can't even imagine doing something like this. It's called The Way is Everything, a story of football, rivalry, and revolution by the wonderful Michael Silver. This looks amazing.
Hi, Kay. How are you?
I'm great. What's going on? What's new? This is new.
I'm very excited about this book, Kay. It does not come out till October 1st, but the pre-order link is up everywhere. And I know Father's Day is coming up. This is... I think moms, dads, kids, grandparents are all going to love this book because we're not just talking about these 5 coaches, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Mike McDaniel, Matt LaFleur, Raheem Morris, who are game changers and very idiosyncratic in their own ways. But they're part of a movement and really a different way of approaching football that is now sweeping the league and the sport, and we get into all of it, and I can't wait for you to read it.
I love it. The Why is Everything is your 5th book, actually. The last one you wrote was turned into a movie, American Underdog, Anyone, which is amazing. It was about Kurt Warner, of course. This, like you're saying, it's about Shanahan. It's about coaching trees, ins and outs. It's fascinating. 19 years later, though, why was this the time to write this book?
You know, I covered Mike Shanahan back in the day when he was resurrecting his career as the 49er offensive coordinator in the early 90s. Steve Young was kind of an embattled guy for all his talent, following Joe Montana. Together, they made magic. Mike Shanahan went to Denver, started the outside zone revolution, and really was a step ahead of his peers for a long time. Now you fast forward to Washington, the early part of the last decade. He has all these unbelievably talented but raw assistants on his staff, and together they are faced with a problem. RG3 is the quarterback. He's never run anything resembling a pro offense, and they have to throw him in, and they come up with a solution that takes the league by storm, and it just lays the groundwork for a different way of thinking. Instead of this is how we do it and we have to fit it within this paradigm, it's let's just tear up the paradigm and question everything, which is how we get the title. So that's kind of the natural jumping off point. And then, of course, pettiness, rivalry, friendship,
Let's
triumph.
talk about that.
tragedy, all that ensues.
I
Yeah,
need
that's
to
fun.
listen. This could be a movie, I'm sure. We'll get into who would play who or whatever. But you write in this book that the Shanahan tree is defined by what you're saying. It's real competitive stuff. There's real stuff there. It's a rivalry, especially when it comes to Shanahan and McVay. You write that they're known as enemy friends, and some would call it frenemies. I like enemy friends better. And there's been plenty of what my good friend Nate Burleson would call Petty Murphy. There have been plenty of Petty Murphiness here. There's paranoia. What moment, like the defining moment, would be the scene in the movie that would define that rivalry at its best?
Well, first of all, I think we got to get Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers songs for the soundtrack.
For sure.
And we can cast this mythical movie, hopefully, eventually non-mythical, if you choose. But in the meantime, I'm going to answer the question. Look, there was a period where Kyle Shanahan and Matt LaFleur, who had once been very close, didn't speak for months during a very contentious 2021 season, and it was precipitated by that draft drama. So let's go back to the 2021 draft. If you remember, I was in Denver for NFL Network, and as so often happens, the drama came to me because there was a lot of talk that Aaron Rodgers would suddenly be traded to the Broncos that night. It didn't happen. But there were also reports about the 49ers and Aaron Rodgers. And to Matt LaFleur, they seemed suspiciously timed. He felt a little betrayed, or a lot of betrayed, by Kyle Shanahan, who knew a lot. And it led to a blow-up that famously, when the Packers beat them in that regular season game in 2021, they had one of the chilliest non-Belichick handshakes in football history. They've since repaired it. But yeah, Shanahan and McVay, they say in the Rams facility that it's fine if anyone else wins a Super Bowl besides Sean McVay, Andy Reid, except Kyle. Kyle can't win. Kay, you'll also be happy to know there's a scene in the book where we remember that 2018 game that I attended at Soldier Field when the Rams were flying so high late in the season, and Vic Fangio and the Bears took them apart and laid kind of a blueprint for Belichick that he used in the Super Bowl. Sean McVay understood what Fangio had done to him, to the point where there's a scene where they're watching the Bears playoff game, which I don't know if you know this, but it ended with something called the double doink.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Soon.
Thanks for bringing it up, jerk.
But they erupted at the Rams facility at Thousand Oaks because they didn't want to play the Bears again. And they knew that instead they could play the Saints. Not that that was an easy matchup, but they wanted no part of that. So it is too soon, I know, but it's in there.
I wouldn't say it's too soon because they got Caleb and they got lots to look forward to, and we love that. And I think any Eagles fan listening to this is going to eat up what you're saying, because that is now the guy who's running that defense that fell apart and kind of fell apart at times and didn't play to their potential. And Vic Fangio is still that OG. Like, he's still the guy that, even a brilliant mind, an offensive wizard like McVay doesn't want to face. I love to hear that. I had an over-under with Hamilton on how many minutes it would take for you to bring up somebody from Cal.
I heard you talking about Morikawa on the break. So, I was all revved up, and you see the helmet.
You brought up Aaron Rodgers.
Richard tried to get it out of the shot during the break, but I think we
show me that beautiful Dennis Rodman shot that we saw earlier, Richard. Would you? Derek and Richard there. Look at that, man. Why is that up there?
So, Kay, imagine this. I'm a young writer at Sports Illustrated. I just got hired maybe about 7 months earlier, and they send us to what we called Camp SI, a getaway in Orlando where we all went to a resort and bonded and may or may not have partied a lot. And then Jordan came back. So this is a timestamp. Jordan ended his retirement. It set a weird thing in motion where Rick Riley had to go here, and I had to go back on the road straight from there. I got home. All I wanted to do was rest, and they called and they said, you got to go to L.A. Dennis Rodman's getting really weird. We need you to try to do something on him. 4 nights, 3 states, and about 6 total hours of sleep later, we came out with this, and it just degenerated from there. A lot of time in Chicago after that. He was with the Spurs at this point, but a lot of time in the great city of Chicago.
Which will not welcome you back for hearkening the name Double Doink here on the Up and Adams show. That will follow you. You will not be welcome with welcome arms to the Windy City, my friend. Okay, you said, let's get back to this rivalry. Which is, again, guys, in this book, check it out. It is available in October. Great. Father's Day? Anyone? Gifts? Anyone? Perfect thing to get. Go ahead and order it. The pre-order is happening right now. You're saying that McVay is like anybody can win a Super Bowl. Kyle, you said the words, Kyle can't win. In a vacuum, Kyle can't win is sort of a thing. So McVay is sort of winning that and getting kind of what he wants. You've taken the deepest dive. You know the innards, the in-betweenies, all of this. Despite such brilliance, such success, the teams come up short in big games. Why?
You know, one answer is Patrick Mahomes, right? He's playing a generational player twice. But I think what people look to is they say, you know, he was the offensive coordinator for the Falcons when they blew that lead. That's on Dan Quinn, certainly, but Kyle stayed aggressive, and it blew up late in that game. Then fourth quarter lead in Super Bowl 54 in Miami against the Chiefs, 10-point fourth quarter lead midway through, it blows up. And they had a 10-point lead in this Super Bowl. It wasn't so much a blown lead, but again, his decisions very under the microscope. I think that, you know, Kyle Shanahan wants the game to be played on his terms. We see that time and time again. When the game is played on his terms, it works out well. And so the question is, what happens when it isn't? And we've seen some coaches on the fly be able to adjust just brilliantly under adverse conditions. With Kyle, that's still open to question. Now, that said, the game was playing out at his terms this last Super Bowl late in the game. If they hit that third down coming out of the 2-minute warning, they probably bleed the clock down, kick a field goal at the end, and that narrative is blown up. You know, it's a game of inches. They weren't ready for the blitz. It led to an incompletion, and Mahomes. So, you know, Kyle Shanahan is a brilliant coach. You'll see in this book, with access to all these guys, they all talk about it. They all talk about the journey. We learn a lot about what makes him tick. But for all his dominance over McVay in their rivalry, the one game that mattered most, McVay won and then won a Super Bowl. And that is all that matters to me.
I always look forward to, I don't care who else is playing on those weeks that the Niners face the Rams. I'm in. I think it should be the biggest game of the week. It's always fun to watch the chess match between both of them. You know, let's talk about Cal, guys. Let's go. We talk a little Rodgers. We can get to that in a little bit. But I want to ask you about Jared Goff, because I was like, oh, yes, Michael Silver's coming on the show. Me and Hamilton are sitting there and sort of thinking about, when this whole thing happened with the Rams shipping Jared Goff off for basically nothing and all whatever, it was all like, there was a lot of like, not anti-Jared Goff, but it was definitely like an underwhelming situation for his side. You never saw that perspective. Do you feel like vindication now? Like, how are you feeling about, because it's something that, you know, the question that I have in here, were you surprised he became a success? I know the answer to that. You're not surprised. But do you feel vindicated because it has all worked out and he has shown that he is that dude?
Well, obviously, I feel vindicated because it's all about me. But on a more important note, I'm really proud of Jared because I've known him since he's, you know, a really young guy. And one thing that struck me at Cal, you know, we always joke. I met him and his parents after a really unfortunate day that included a big game loss to our rival Stanford. And I didn't handle it well. And I always joke that he handled it a lot better than I did, even though he played in the game. And I just saw, you know, a lot of these guys who end up going first overall and having that road to the NFL paved in glory didn't have real adversity, at least in college. And Jared Goff really did. He was 1-11 as a freshman got pulled out of a game in Oregon in the rain because it was such a disaster, tore up his shoulder in a rivalry game, and never really had that smooth reality. Wasn't a big recruit, and his first year with the Rams was brutal. So I've always felt that his calm demeanor and really his ability to be introspective when things are breaking down, look at himself, not put it on others, and just try to get better would carry him through ultimately. And he did not get put into a great situation in Detroit. Take the public perception out of it, which was that, they threw him in and they had to pay an extra first-round pick just to get out of his contract. Nobody wants him. But, that Lions team had not won much. Dan Campbell was coming in with a lot of hope, but no real credibility. And they had a rough first year, and they hung tough. And, he's been... he and Ben Johnson have formed such a nice partnership. Twice Ben Johnson has turned down potential head coaching opportunities to stay, and Jared's really upped his game. So, he doesn't make a lot of noise about it, but he's got a lot of pride, and I really think, other than staying calm under fire, his best quality is he does look at himself, and he does honestly try to use these experiences to improve.
Who has a better shot of winning the Super Bowl or taking their team further? Who takes their team further this year, Jared Goff or Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, it's a Cal on Cal,
Let's effing go, Michael.
Conundrum. It's like having
question.
Morikawa. I'm trying to impress my good friend who documented Scotty Scheffler's arrest recently, but it's like having a Max Homa versus Colin Morikawa playoff. I think I did that right.
Let's give our love to Jeff Darling. Let's just take a moment. We'll put this up. Jeff, I miss you. I don't talk to you anymore. You don't write. You don't call. Let's give a shout out to Mr. Darlington.
He's a big celebrity, Kay.
Yeah.
And listen, I will say this, everybody, kind of was checking out Jeff Darlington in the heart of the action as the Scotty Scheffler thing went down. But, as his friend and as a journalist, it's pouring rain, it's confusion, it's early in the morning. A lot of people just got the heck out of Dodge. He moved toward that situation and forget all the other stuff. He did journalism, and journalism, sometimes it turns glamorous because it happened to be Scotty Scheffler, but the instincts are just, it's not about you, just go get the story.
Yeah.
I know you know that. Here you are. You've had an incredible journey. You are doing journalism. You're getting players who are in the news to walk into the shot of other players that you interview and breaking things.
It's not easy to coordinate those, NBA 2K battles in the morning between two guys that really make them appear on screen at the same time. It's very true, Michael. You're so right. And yeah, Jeff Darlington, right place, right time, wrong place, wrong time. No matter what, he's there.
That is 100% true, and I'm hoping that when this does get made into a movie, The Why Is Everything, to bring it back to my product, I want you and Jeff Darlington. I want a lot of people playing themselves. I want Diana Rossini in there. Okay. I want to get Melissa Stark. I want to get Kevin Harlan. I want to get everybody who's cool.
Any of your former bosses, would they be in this movie?
That's such a great question. And yes, Dave Morgan from Yahoo, the guy who brought me there, he'd be the first guy I'd think of because he could play Jon Stewart, oddly enough.
Will you just stop? Would you answer the freaking question? Like, stop skirting around this thing. What do we? Rodgers, Goff. Who leads their team further?
That's right. There was a question in there. I'm going to go with Goff. The inertia of Rodgers. Being there, it's New York. It's a team where they're just looking for reasons to, go, well, we're the Jets, deep inside. And I love so many of the people there, and I have so much faith in them. But it just feels like they made a deal with the devil in that not only do we want Aaron Rodgers, but you can have everything you want. And we're going to get your coordinator preemptively. We're going to go get Lazard. We're going to go get all these guys. And if it works, great. And if not, it'll implode again. It doesn't mean that, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest players in the history of the sport. He's certainly capable of elevating the whole thing and winning. I'm not saying they can't win, but I just think it's the potential for implosion is also very, very real. Whereas the Lions could take a step back, but I feel like they're going to be in the mix with that offensive line.
It's a real off between those two, but you're adamant about Jared. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is missing mandatory minicamp today. You see that? Where is he? Where is he?
You know, there's always a little weirdness with the Jets. It's just, you know,
he's attending an event that was very important to him.
Is it involved with a presidential campaign? Is it a Jeopardy retrospective?
See, I haven't written 5 books, but I know better than to make a joke about it until I know what it is. What if it's something serious, Michael?
You're right. No, and in fact, listen, I'm not one of those believers that minicamp matters a whole lot.
Okay, great.
I'll never forget, Kay, and this is so Sports Illustrated.
We're going to take a break, and then we're going to talk on the break. Let's take a TV break. We're going to stay live on YouTube, and we'll get these clips out. We will be back, of course, for those of you watching on FanDuel TV, on streaming on Max later. The Why is Everything, a story of football, rivalry, and revolution by the wonderful Michael Silver. We will be back. Julius Thomas on deck. Why I keep saying on deck? What is wrong with me? Okay, tell me, finish your thought. Sorry.
All right. Ezra, James, and I are in Miami. SI sends me out there. It's Memorial Day weekend, and we just go hard for 3.5 days. He tries to get me to come to Cancun. I do an Irish goodbye and go back to California.
You always do those. You and I are the king of those. I love that.
Yeah, right. So it turns out he missed a voluntary minicamp, and both his general manager, Bill Polian, and his quarterback, Peyton Manning, kind of rip him in the press for missing this voluntary minicamp. That was the same weekend.
Sorry.
And the SI editor calls me and goes, now this is running. It's become a thing. I need you to call Edgerrin to get a quote about missing this minicamp. So I call him up and I go, hey, you missed this minicamp. And he goes, I only went to college for 2.5 years, and even I know the meaning of the word voluntary. So there you go.
I love seeing you. Great stories. Love the book. I did. Richard wanted to ask. Well, he wanted to ask the best memory of Super Bowl parties with Jeff Darlington, but we didn't have time for that. Don't answer that.
My God.
Instead, I think we have like 1 minute before we go back to break.
Okay, I cast a whole movie.
Okay, want to do that? Do that.
Yeah,
give me that. I didn't realize we gave you. I didn't realize we gave you the prompt for that. Tell me who you got. Who you got?
I would have been terrible.
Okay, let's in 1 minute.
I got Jeremy Strong for Kyle.
Let's cast The Why is Everything, a story of football, rivalry, and revolution, the movie. Who you got?
I got Jeremy Strong for Kyle. Who you got?
Oh my God. Jeremy Strong. I'm in love with Jeremy Strong. I love Jeremy Strong.
There you
Absolutely.
go.
Nothing. Who else you got? I don't even know. Who else? Who would McVay be?
I'm going Chris Pratt because I'm a Cal guy.
Gosh, that really works. I feel like Chris Pratt's a good. This is great. Oh, they're saying Glenn Powell in my ear. I don't know about that.
It's not terrible.
No, Chris Pratt.
I'm going Nick Kroll for McDaniel. If you put it on the screen, you'll see what I'm talking about.
The control room's agreeing with you, yes.
I'm going Richie from The Bear for LaFleur. I'm not going to try the pronunciation of the actor, but...
Which one's Richie?
Cousin.
Oh, the cousin. Yeah. Okay, but I can't look past him on Girls on HBO. I don't like him.
God, Raheem is tough. You know,
Yeah.
Raheem, I kind of want Michael B. Jordan, but he's funny. So I'm tempted to go J.B. Smoove and just go full on comic.
I mean, you've got an Oscar. You've got an Oscar on your hands. All right, everybody, go pick up the book. It is fully cast, fully ready for you in October. The pre-sale is right now. Go check it out. I'm so happy for you, Michael.
Thank you so much, Kay. It's been awesome.
You're awesome. Talk soon.
Those are phenomenal casting choices.
I mean, not bad. Welcome back to the Up and Adams Show. So excited to get him in here. 2-time Pro Bowl tight end, spending time with the Broncos, the Jags, the Dolphins. In his 7-year illustrious career, he's made an impact, of course, on and off the field with clinical health psychology work with athletes across the country. Julius Thomas, long time no see, too long.
I know it has been a little bit. And I think last time I was on the show, I made you a promise about the Broncos. I think they had just took a really bad L, and you were asking, what's it going to look like for the rest of the year? What do you think about Sean Payton? And I told you that I believe in him, and I think he's going to get things turned around. And, you know,
Okay.
sometimes we fall right.
What is the so tell me about this Broncos team. Did they exceed your high expectations? And do you think that they're with this quarterback change, but now Sean's got his roots in, he's had a whole offseason, how much better will they be than last year?
So that's a hard question to answer because he's a rookie quarterback. But I predict, again, hear it here first, this is just my opinion, but I think that Bo Nix is going to have a great season this year. I think he was the type of quarterback that I wanted to see in Sean Payton's system. I mean, for him to be able to go to Auburn, to Oregon, and to be able to learn a complex offense, execute at a high level, accurate passer, and I'm not the statistician, and I'm sure somebody on your team can help us out more, but he doesn't seem that different in size and stature from a really good quarterback that Sean Payton has had before.
Now, Julius Thomas, are you saying that Bo Nix is the week 1 starter? Because there's a lot of hype around the Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be Bo Nix. I do think so.
Can you expand on that? Why him? Because there is a lot of steam that it's going to be Zach Wilson. Why do you think Sean will use Bo instead of Zach?
Well, one of the things that I did for a good portion of my life was catch passes. And if you ask a pass catcher, what's the most important thing? It's accuracy. And if you've got one of the most accurate quarterbacks sitting in that backfield, you're going to want that guy to be throwing the ball. I mean, I got a chance to watch him play a couple of times at Oregon this year. And I mean, he was on the money with that ball placement. And that's huge in the NFL.
I was taking a look at some numbers yesterday. You're saying I got stats people and whatever I do, my friend. And let's take a look here. You battled through injuries, especially in the beginning of your career. You weren't getting a ton of looks. What was the moment you made the Broncos realize they need to get you the ball more? What was it that sort of, got everyone to take notice that you were so special?
No, that's a great question. And I did have to go through some injury battles in my career. But I do the thing that I encourage people to do when I'm working with athletes at college, professional level. I tell them, you got to go kick ass in practice. Like, practice is where you prove to the people in the building that are going to make those decisions about what you can bring to the team. And, that second year, I was like inactive, active. So I was going to every game, but I wasn't even getting a jersey on my pads. But, that's when I really started to dial into the mental performance part and start thinking about, okay, what are the things in my control that I can do? And I used to always just try to go give the defense fits. Guys would come up to me and they'd be like, Julius, man, like, hey, it's been a long season. I'm tired. Like, do you have to run full speed today in practice? Yes, the answer is yes. And I'll be running full speed and I'll be trying to make all these plays in practice so that the people upstairs, they have a decision to make. And you always want to put that pressure on the decision makers to get you in the game and get you the ball. And fortunately for me, I got to play with a great quarterback that was able to do that.
So it was the decision makers upstairs and not, I would have guessed Peyton Manning was the one who was like, hello, can we get him the ball more? No?
No, I mean, there was a time I remember in my second year, and, I always talk about the power of a person believing in you and having that right thing to say in the right moment.
Yeah. And
I'll never forget, I was like kind of in a downtime and just, grinding away. And we were in the elevator and Peyton walks in and he's like, hey, JT, man, I just want you to know, like, we see what you're doing out there at practice. And I was like, yes. Like, this was a sign that, it was starting to turn in some people's minds of, let's let this guy run loose. We could have some fun.
It's so funny. That's like all it takes, right? All it takes is one comment from this dude and you feel good. Did those comments fly out of Peyton Manning's mouth often? Or was he more, did they mean more because it was rare to get that sort of a comment from him? Or was he constantly giving that feedback?
I think that probably what makes him one of the best leaders is he's really great at giving feedback, but the feedback is not always, a superlative. He has probably one of the highest standards that we've ever seen. Every detail matters. So when you get a good compliment from P, especially when you're a second year guy playing football for 3 total years in your life, and the guy that you played with or on video games, you look up to like Peyton Manning says, hey, we see you, and keep making noise in practice. Like, for me, that was huge. And I actually took every single rep for the tight ends in that OTAs going into my third year to really earn and prove. I mean, that's what the 1s, the 2s, and the 3s to make sure that I got the reps and show them what I could do. But coming into that third year, I was ready to go, and Peyton did a great job of incorporating me in the offense and finding ways to give me the ball.
Sounds like OTAs really matter, Julius.
Now, exactly, in that last segment. Now, if you're Edgerrin James and you're the guy, it is voluntary. But if you're on practice squad or if you're at the bottom of the roster, it's mandatory, voluntary.
Well said by you. I need to know everything I need to know about Brian Callahan, Julius Thomas. That's why you're here. You spent all 4 of your years in Denver working with him as an offensive assistant. He's the new head coach down in Tennessee. Tell me everything I need to know, and the Titans need to know, and Amy needs to know about this man taking over.
Well, I think one of the things that stood out, we call him Callie. And one of the things that Callie does that I think is really special is he's a thinker. He's a true analytical guy, not from a numbers standpoint, but I'm talking about from like the game and being able to look at the pieces and how they work together and understand defenses, understand offenses, and how to create space and get people the ball. I mean, Callie was the guy that was running cards when I was on the, doing practice squad reps in that second year when I wasn't playing. And so him and I had a good times to get to know each other. And I think that they got a brilliant offensive mind there in Tennessee. I hear, I'm not going to say I'm the most dialed into the news, but it looks like they're trying to change up what that Tennessee offense has been for the greater part of a decade and get the ball in the air a little bit and get kind of the modern day system. And I don't think they could have found a better guy than Callie. I mean, the effort that he puts in, student of the game, studies what he does, understands offense at probably the highest level possible. I think they got a great one.
I mean, Hopkins and Ridley, let's go.
Hey, it's easy. I keep telling you, Kate, put the ball in the air. Running, it's great, but, we only need to do that is a change of pace. And let's just keep airmailing that thing. Yeah,
I mean, they don't have Derrick Henry, so it'll be interesting to see. That offense is absolutely going to change, but we'll see. It sounds like Callie is up to the task and has Julius Thomas's approval. Let's get your tight end. Like, who do I need to know about? There's a lot of Travis Kelce talk. There's always Kittle talk. There's Mark Andrews at a full healthy season talk. Isaiah Likely, that's going to be a really, I think, sexy tandem out in Baltimore. Is there a tight end that I need to be talking about more this season?
I'm not going to say that I watch the most college football, but I watched a little bit. And I'm really excited about Brock Bowers from Georgia.
All right.
Right. It's not often you get a tight end that has the type of college pedigree that he has. And, he seemed to me like a guy that has a silky, kind of smooth athleticism that's going to fit well in the NFL. He does a lot of the things at a high level, making great plays with his hands. But for me, I like to really watch the kind of route runner people are. And if you're able to run routes in a way that we call it, you can't be sticky. Like, people can't just attach to you and now you're running a route with the DB hanging from you. And I think he does a really good job of creating space and being really elusive as he's running down the field. So I think he would be one to watch. He's going to be in Oakland. He's going to have a great opportunity to come in and play first rounder. So he would be my one to watch.
I think Aiden O'Connell, if he's a starter, even if it's Minshew, a veteran backup as a start, what a security blanket. We're hearing glowing things out of camp from him. Michael Mayer, his tight end coach, saying that he is basically a phenom as a rookie. So that's one to watch from Julius Thomas, which we're excited about as well. Are you not excited about Mercedes Lewis? Because we got to talk about this. What is he drinking? What is his regimen? This is his 19th season. He just signed with the Bears. He's 40 years old. Caleb Williams was 4 years old when Mercedes Lewis was drafted. What are the advantages? Listen, these NFL teams, as you know, anything's an advantage. What is he bringing at 40 years old to that locker room?
No, man, I had the pleasure of playing with Mercedes down there in Jacksonville for a couple of years, and him and I actually developed a really good relationship on and off the field. But one of the things that you can't teach is that type of experience. I mean, to be in 19 different locker rooms, or not different locker rooms, but seasons of being in that locker room, man, the experience he has, the type of professional he is. I mean, you got to watch this guy work in pre-practice. Getting a chance to play with him helped me elevate what I was doing in pre-practice, because he is on every little detail. He's consummate professional, taking care of his body off the field. I mean, and on top of everything else, just what a tremendous athlete, freak athlete. The guy's 6'7", 280 pounds. He can run, he can block.
Can he still run and block? I mean, we're talking about all this stuff. You're talking about playing with him with the Jags. I was taking out student loans when he was 31 back then. That was almost 10 years ago. What sort of freak of nature thing are we experiencing here? And you don't seem surprised by this, that he's still going.
No, I actually had a chance to talk to him pregame last year when I went to watch the Bears play the Saints. And I was talking to him. I was like, man, how long are you going to keep playing? And he was like, man, I want to get the record. And so I knew at that point, he was committed and he loves football. He's always loved football, something that means so much to him. So am I surprised that Mercedes Lewis is going into his 19th season? No, because I see the way he works. I see the way he takes care of himself. And good genes never hurts. And he is a true athlete. So he's going to be able to hang in there and give the business to some of these young guys, I'm sure.
And I imagine it's like a coach in the huddle.
Well, absolutely. I mean,
Caleb.
not just a coach, but, kind of like a calming presence, right? He's seen it before. He's been in that situation. And what a lot of people don't understand is there's a lot of different energy levels in a huddle, right? Some people are really confident. Some people are nervous. You got, a rookie quarterback coming in there. A guy like Mercedes Lewis comes into the huddle and says, all right, guys, we're good. Hey, we got this. Hey, let's just focus on executing. Hey, first down, touchdown, that kind of stuff. It's big. I mean, sometimes in team sports, you have to feed off the confidence or calm of other people. And Mercedes is going to bring that in spades.
And the record we're talking about is the seasons in the NFL, right? For non-quarterback.
For the tight end.
For tight end.
Longest seasons in the tight end.
20 seasons is the record for non-QB kicker or punter.
What's the record for a tight end? I think was Gonzalez was at 18, right?
We had it in the meeting this morning, but they didn't put it in my notes. What is it, guys? It's written on the screen. 3 games shy of Jason Witten's record for games played by a tight end. I don't know how many it is, but he's 3 games shy. So he'll get those off the jump, and he's at 268, and it's 271 that he's trying to beat, which is, I think it's also just like the way he plays. It's not like he's out there like, this is a dude who blocks his ass off, and always will. And at the age of 40, will go out there and do that. I'm really, really excited to see what Chicago looks like. Before we let you go, I want you to tell me about what is going on with Optimal Performance, your client list, Casual, Julius Lululemon, Miami Dolphins, NFL PA, San Antonio Spurs, Jacksonville Jags, Bacardi. What's going on?
No, it's actually been great. I mean, one of the commitments that I made when I was leaving the game of football was that I really wanted to understand mental health and well-being. Like I saw that, the things the guys in the locker room, myself included, we went through struggles. And I used to always say, man, somebody should help that guy. Somebody should help that guy. And then one day I realized if you're the one that notices it, you should be the person that's going out there to try to make a difference in that area. And it's been a long grind for me, leaving the game in 2017. 6 years now in my graduate health psychology program, where I'm almost finished with that. We're excited. But I had the ability to start a company a year and a half ago. And really what I wanted to do is bring my 2 worlds together. Being a lifelong obsessed high performer, but then also understanding the health and wellness, and really be able to provide people with a comprehensive system that they can use to manage that work-life balance, to be at their peak professionally and personally. I mean, I talk about this concept of the cost of high performance. When you look at what happens with mental health issues, substance use, relationship challenges, like chronic illness and disease, and you go, man, this stuff is growing and growing, and we talk about it, but what are we doing about it? And optimal performance was why my way of providing like high-performing teams, individuals, and organizations with a system that they can use, that they can trust, that's supported by science, to figure out, okay, how do I keep all of this in mind at the same time? How do I get to be who I want to be professionally, but at the same time, make sure that I'm taking care of my health and well-being? So this is my passion. This is what I've been able to do at a really high level now, and I'm excited to keep growing the company and helping as many people as possible.
It's going pretty well for you. I gotta say, and I can tell it's your passion. It's amazing. I can't wait to hear the other. By the next time I see you, don't forget the little people, okay? Don't forget to come visit me. It's optimal.
No worry, I'm coming.
OptimalPerformanceSystem.com to learn about the tools, the resources Julius and his team have developed for success and all these amazing partnerships, which is amazing. If you could pick before you go, I'm just thinking. I just keep thinking like, you look like you're in pretty good shape, Julius. Like I feel like, where Mercedes Lewis is playing still. If you could pick one NFL team that you'd have to go and like sweat for, give it all to, where are you going? Your pick.
That's a great question. One NFL team. It's got to be somebody that's throwing the ball, like really putting the thing up in the air. You know what? We were talking about our guy, Aaron Rodgers. And I would say
Let's go.
that would not be a bad place to go spend a season. Aaron Rodgers has always been known for delivering the ball on the money, extending plays.
Yeah.
That's when you need a tight end, right? Safety valve. The Jets might be the best opportunity. I mean, there could be a lot of fun to be had in New York with Aaron Rodgers back there.
They need to add something. They don't need to, but I like Garrett. I like Mike Williams. That's fine. But I feel like, I like these playmakers, but I would like some depth. I would like, you in the end zone, just making it easy for that 40-year-old coming off an Achilles. I'm down for that. Hey, Jets, I keep telling the Jets, make a move. The Jets need to pull. This sounds like it could, maybe just, but wait. We'll wait till the playoffs. Okay? Let's just wait.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, you guys get me down to the 10.
There we go.
Once we're 10 and in, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll go in there and make space, sure hands, we'll get this thing rolling.
You work on optimal performance. Keep growing that thing. Light gym work. Keep it nice, and then we'll talk to you in January, okay?
Exactly. The Jets bring me in, come talk to the team
Great.
in August, and then just hold on to me, and I'll show back up in January.
Julius, I'm so glad we figured this all out here today. We appreciate you so much and the insights. Nice to talk to you, and congrats on all the success.
So good to see you as well. Remember my prediction. I was right last year. I think I'll be right again, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to have to gloat a little bit.
We love a confident tight end on the program. We love it. Bo Nix coming to stadiums near you starting week 1. Okay, short break here, and we will be back on the air shortly. He was great. So fun. I like the rogue thing, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also he's got that connection with Nathaniel Hackett too. He played in that offense in Jacksonville, so there you go.
Great. That's fine.
Yeah.
You could pick anywhere you think it'd be right to the Chiefs.
Yeah. No, he wants Rodgers. That was interesting.
Would you pick I don't know what I would pick. I mean, you can't go to Baltimore.
Yeah.
You could say Burrow. I'm trying to think of if you're yeah. But also, you would go to the Ravens. You don't have to do anything, right?
Yeah. That's why, Chiefs too, if you're playing with Travis Kelce, they're going to use him, but it's not all on him. Yeah.
I'd go right to the Chiefs, I think.
He's looking for that ring too, because he left the year before they won.
I'd go right to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
After the kitchen.
Yeah.
Hamilton just walked off. Wait, what are we doing? Oh, I go, what are we doing? I don't know. Talk to Hamilton in 40 seconds. That sounds great. Julius Thomas picking Aaron Rodgers over Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, Allen. If he went to Allen, he could be the guy along with Dawson. He could make things happen.
Yeah, and Kincaid there.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm too tired.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting from a guy that played with Peyton.
I'd go right to Kansas City. Right to Kansas City. Great insights. So appreciative for Michael Silver and Julius Thomas this time. Who's on tomorrow?
DJ Speed. Colts linebacker.
Okay, let's go.